So last week, a report came out talking about how Heather Honey, who Donald Trump, of course, has put in charge of election integrity here in the United States. She, of course, was a 2020 election denier. But last week, the New York Times reported how back in March, before she got her new position with the administration, Heather Honey came up with a plan for how the Republicans could steal the 2026 midterm and perhaps even future elections. Which, of course, is funny because she's the one who says, no, Democrats are stealing election. By the way, here's my plan to steal elections. So, it's always deflection with these people. But anyway, her plan was to have Donald Trump declare in a state of emergency, right? Declare a state of emergency and then take over how states conduct their elections. But in order to justify declaring a state of emergency to begin with, he was going to have to launch phony investigations and claim, even without evidence, that, oh no, there's so much voter fraud and so many bad things with elections, I have to take over. That was her plan. And she kind of admitted that, hey, yeah, this is going to be a little on the not quite legal side. And yeah, it's going to be based on some faulty premises, but it's what we could do. And sure enough, 4 days after that report came out, Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that they are launching an investigation into the 2020 election because he thinks it was riddled with fraud, even though there's been investigations, there's been lawsuits that have found nothing. So Heather Honey's plan, Donald Trump's plan to steal the midterms, is now in motion. It's not a hypothetical. It's not some crackpot conspiracy theory. That exact plan is literally in motion, taking shape the exact way that Heather Honey described it in her little phone call that she had. Here's what Trump put on Truth Social this past weekend. Look what happened to our country when a crooked moron became our president. Boy. We're just talking about a total lack of self-awareness with that sentence, aren't we, folks? Look what happened to our country when a crooked moron became our president. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself, guy. I hope the DOJ pursues this with as much gusto as befitting the biggest scandal in American history. If not, it will happen again, including the upcoming midterms. No mail-in or early voting. Yes to voter ID. Watch how totally dishonest the California prop vote is. Millions of ballots being shipped. Get smart, Republicans, before it is too late. What's worse, the NBA players cheating at cards and probably much else, or the Democrats cheating on elections? The 2020 presidential election being rigged and stolen is far bigger scandal. Except it didn't happen. The NBA folks actually did get busted doing that, and no, I don't even know what ballots are being shipped means. Like shipped from the precinct to the Capitol or wherever it is they're counted. Yeah, that's how you move things. But whatever. I mean, this is ridiculous. He's obviously lying about all this crap. Again, we have had lawyers working for Trump disbarred over these fake election claims. Mike Lindell has lost his fortune because of these fake election claims. But it doesn't matter because they're going to do it anyway, or at least try to do it. The investigation is happening. A grand jury has been impaneled in the state of Florida to look into the 2020 election, which Trump won in Florida. So I don't know why they picked Florida other than, oh, we can get friendly people, but it didn't happen here, allegedly. So it's very weird, but most importantly, it's very terrifying. This plan to steal the 2026 midterms is in place. It is in motion. It is happening. This is what they're going to do. And ultimately, we're going to have to rely on the Supreme Court to tell Donald Trump he's not allowed to take over how states conduct elections. That right is granted to the states in the Constitution. And you think this Supreme Court's going to do that? I don't know. They've surprised us before in both good and bad ways, but ultimately, they will be the ones who make that decision. ChatGPT has the former director of the NSA sitting on their board right now. Edward Snowden has called this a willful, calculated betrayal of the rights of every person on Earth. Alexa listens to us and recommends products based on our conversations. Meta retargets us based on our browsing and engagement history. Why do we assume AI is going to be any different? It took us all far too long to truly understand what social media companies were doing with our data last decade. Are we really going to make the same mistake again? That's why I've partnered with today's video sponsor, Venice.ai. Eric Voorhees is a leading crypto entrepreneur known for advocating for individual financial control, decentralized finance, and user privacy. He is also a respected speaker and author in the tech and crypto communities. His vision drives Venice.ai's mission to offer uncensored and open source AI solutions. Venice utilizes leading open source AI models to deliver text, code, and image generation to your web browser or via their app. They don't spy on you or censor the AI. Messages are encrypted and your conversation history is stored only in your device or browser. AI can be extremely valuable, but we shouldn't need to give up our privacy to use it. Their Pro plan unlocks the full platform and features, including PDF uploads for summaries or insights, the ability to turn off safe mode for unhindered image generation, the ability to change how Venice interacts with you by modifying the system prompt, limitless text, and high image limits. 4 specialized models in addition to Venice Uncensored include reasoning, small, medium, and large, image analysis and multimodal support, custom AI characters you can create and chat with, API access through triple V token staking, and if you want to use AI without fear of handing over your most intimate thoughts to a corporation or the government, you can get 20% off a Pro plan using my link. Just go to venice.ai/ringofire and use the code ringofire at checkout.